Trade Genius.
Hey guys, welcome to another Trade Genius podcast. Philip here with Bob Kula as always. And today, interesting topic. We're going to talk a little bit about the weather. And for those of you that don't know, Bob's been known to talk about the weather. And he's kind of like the in-house weatherman for us. And it's kind of good because there's also some investment opportunities that go along with that. So, Bob, what's going on with the weather? Pretty wacky out there.
Yeah, whether or not you want to hear it from me or not, you get it if you're in our VIP room. Ha ha ha. Hey,
Weather.
and just a little history lesson. I started Trade Genius primarily because of the my thoughts on the grand solar minimum. And I felt compelled to provide people with I think the things that you're going to need to own when this thing really takes a hold. And that was in 2015, 2016, and we knew that the depths of this grand solar minimum is going to start hitting 23, 24, and you keep getting these impulses colder, impulses colder, impulses colder. And the reason why, the interesting thing about grand solar minimum and global cooling versus global warming is that when you have a sun that is weakening in its luminescence, you get the jet stream starts to wiggle or wobble. And that's where you get, you don't necessarily get like, well, Bob, why is it really hot some places, really cold some places? It is because the jet stream starts to wobble. It's not. It's trying to find its balance, and so you have these dips in the jet stream that go really far down south, and then they rip really far north as the sine wave becomes more intense. And I'll tell you, at some point between now and 2031, 2231, we will see the jet streams actually cross the equator. Okay. That's how crazy it's going to get in terms of the basically the magnetic anomalies that we're going to get from the magnetic field starting to collapse because of the sun and its weakening. So when you have these dips like this, look, I live in Southern California. The reason why I even brought this topic up to Phil is that I'm like, hey, it's 1st of October and 1st of November, we're starting to get these winter rainstorms that we don't normally get till January and February. And we had this really weird monsoon season where we actually had a monsoon season. And Arizona went right from the monsoon season, Phil, right into the winter season. And that never happens. Usually you have like 2-3 months between, when Arizona gets its summer rains and before it gets its winter rains. So I think we're in for a really interesting year because the La Nina is still showing up, but we're getting these anomalies. But the nice thing about weather and climate is that there's always analogs that you can look back on, and there's 2 or 3 of them that come up. So we're expecting a cold and wintry and rainy winter for the United States and Europe. Thank God that you got the Indian summer that you're getting, because you're gonna be experiencing the same kind of intense radical changes and shifts in your weather for Christmas and into the new year. Is that you're going to be really warm, then you're going to get really cold, and the implications for you this year are dire, and for around the world you're going to just see costs explode. So with that, I want to just show you some other charts that support what I'm saying. So this is the the mean ice in the Arctic. So if you notice, look where the blue line is. We're already blowing up over the means 2011, 21, 22, 22, 23, just to give you kind of a sense. Look at the Bollinger Band on this. We're already above the Bollinger Band for this as well. And when you have a lot of ice forming, you create the albedo effect where it reflects heat off out of the earth. And it's not just the north that's having these problems. Check out the tropics. This is just this past week. This is Brazil. This is the anomaly for temperature in Brazil. And they had, the next chart I'm going to show you is that, and this is important to know because this is Brazil's growing regions that are suffering. And it's also in Argentina. And you had snow here in Brazil last week. Simply amazing. And that's going to affect wheat. That's going to affect corn. It's going to affect soybeans. And it's going to affect, the next thing I'm going to show you is natural gas. And so this chart with natural gas has just been amazing. We've been begging people to ride this train with us, is that, and I'm going to show you what happened today, but look at that square here is that it's coming down, and look, this natural gas is wiggling like the jet stream here. So we're getting some incredible trades here. And look, we're trading the long on natural gas. We're trading the natural gas drillers, and we're trading the what they call the ultimate ETF short. And we're getting some incredible returns on this stuff. So if you want to trade with us, come to Trade Genius. And this is one of the things that I really, really, really focus on. And before I do that, I'm going to let Phil show you. This is Canada.
Yeah, this is pretty wild. I mean, this is stuff you see in January, right? And it's the beginning of November. It's pretty wild, even for Canada.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw my screen on here, Phil. I'm going to show you a chart here. Give me 1 second. Let me get it set up in the room first. So, Phil, I'm going to show you my screen here on natural gas futures. You guys see it?
Yeah, you look good.
If you notice here, over here, you can see I hope you can see my cursor. It's red. Is that we had a gap here to fill. Now, it came down and it touched that lower boundary. When I go out to, I can show you where it hit. It hit the minus 2.3 standard deviation here. We had our heat telling us that it's a buy, so we had two things telling us to go. And so we ripped up and we did these bunch of, S turns here to get to fill the gap. We filled the gap, and usually, okay, the gap filled, now what happened? It pushed back down. Everybody's saying, hey, natural gas is done, but it started to train again. And today, it broke out of that box fill. And so I think that's really huge for people to see here, especially going into the winter here. And this is what it looks like on a daily chart. And if you could see here, I mean, this is the highs earlier in the year for natural gas for the Russians. Now, oil went up huge today because the Saudis are talking about not enough production out there and there's going to be shortages. The Chinese are talking about coming back into the world markets again. And the Russians are not getting their natural gas to Europe. And so now you have a winter coming up. And so this trade's going to probably be really good. It's going to pay us here really well. So my view here is that it's going to be very volatile. They call natural gas the widowmaker. So you're going to have to, we don't trade the futures, but we trade the drillers. They're just grinding up higher. And we actually short natural gas short. It's called KOLD. I'll show you that chart here in a second as well. But I'm looking here to get back over $7 in natural gas, get back up to our Ranger, and then we'll see if we can push back up again. Look, we've done this before where, and these things can happen within days, as you can see here. This is just a couple weeks as it drives up. This is, basically, a week and a half to 2 weeks and drives up to these levels. They'd like to trend when it goes. And if you look at a chart here, KOLD, is that we've been shorting KOLD because it's actually the short, ultra short of Bloomberg natural gas. So what we look at when we trade is that we look for these overbought situations like we had here. And zoom in on the 4 hour on it, it shows it better. So this was the no-brainer trade of the month for us, going in October when natural gas got over this price for cold, which was the short. It broke out of its range of its channel. At the same time, the heat rolled over, and you see this right here. This is our heat bot that told us, hey, we should probably short this. And how we shorted is we bought puts, overbought ultra shorts. You buy puts on it. We bought the 20 for November, and right now we're at 1634. We got these really cheap because we bought them when it was this high, and we just rolled them out to December strike 15. My ultimate goal here with KOLD is going to get back down to under $10. So that's how strongly I feel about natural gas, and this is the way these parabolic moves go. The Eiffel Tower back to support, and this is where really the move started from. So I want to share that, Phil. I hope people like that.
Yeah.
With that, I'm going to jump back into the podcast here. Give me 1 second. So anyway, I want to show you guys. That's why I'm really, really, really stoked on understanding the weather. And it's interesting to me is that that's why I like silver so much, because you need it in solar energy. That's why I like natural gas. You need it to heat your home. That's why I like coal. You need it to heat your home. So those are the areas where I'm big on FCX, because if they're going to go solar, they need copper. And so, it's my version of drill, baby, drill. You got to own these commodities. All of them up are huge today. And the only thing that's been holding any of this stuff back is the dollar's been on this crazy move. And as if you've been listening to Phil over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the parabola in the dollar starting to wiggle a little bit. And I think we're going to get a pull down in the dollar. We're going to get probably one more surge, and then I think the dollar can't go any higher because it's going to blow up the reason why we should even have a Federal Reserve. And those guys have a great will to live, and they're gonna go ahead and allow inflation to return. So with that, I'll flip it back to you, Phil. Trade with us, guys. TradeLikeAGenius.com, TradeGenius.co. Phil's our crypto guy. I'm the guy on the stock side. We have a room for day trading. It was an awesome day for day trading on Friday. So we have room for everybody. Just come join us. What we charge for service is nothing compared to what you get out of it. And it's a good group of people, too. We have a lot of fun.
I couldn't agree more. All right. Well, with that, guys, we are going to wrap it up for this edition of the Trade Genius podcast. Tell us what you think about the weather down below. Love to hear from you guys. Please hit like and subscribe. Really helps out our channel a lot. And we'll see you guys back on Monday with another exciting episode. Until then, guys, have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you then.
Trade Genius.